Hello friends, welcome back. Sorry for the video been interrupted in between. Now we were discussing about the introduction to multimedia and what exactly multimedia is. So as we discussed, we have seen two kinds of examples how multimedia has changed the entire the way the cricket match has been played and been telecasted. At the same time, it has transformed the entire news channel industries. So with the help of multimedia, what has happened is while communicating, say for example, news channels are for conveying whatever the information that the news teller is having, and he used to pass that information to the end user. Now in earlier phase, the only information that was there available was in the form of certain text which has been given to that particular the news reader, and he used to just read those the information available in the text form, and then that the way he was reading it has been captured with the help of an video audio visuals, and then it has been telecasted. But now if you see whatever may be the information available, that information is transformed into different kinds of media. Let us take one simple example. Let us take an example that certain railway accident has happened. Now sorry for the bad example, but let us go through this example. Let us consider there is certain accident has happened with the railway. Now in earlier time, when news reader, he used to simply conclude with the certain words that this express has met with an accident, and these many people are injured, these many people have died, and this is what the care taken by the railway ministry and all. But now if you see the news been telecasted for the same incident, that they will show you certain animation first. In that animation they will show you how that railway used to travel, how some mishap has happened on the track, and because of which how the railway has slide down, or somehow it met with an accident with some other railway or some truck or whatever it may be, and they will show you exactly how it has happened with the help of certain animation. Then they will go ahead with interviewing some of the persons. It may be via a telephonic interview, it may be via an video interview on the spot, and when the news reader is going to read that particular news, at the background that video visuals will be shown to you. That is nothing but the example of video within the video. Now what has happened with this, that more and more amount of information been shared with you with all possible ways of mediums, and which make the user to get engaged with that particular news. He get more and more information, and that is where the beauty of this multimedia communication lies. And this is how we express the importance of multimedia, how multimedia has transformed the way we visualize to this entertainment industry. Now let me clarify this, like this news or this cricket matches is not the only application of multimedia. Like I can give one or two more examples with which are like which I have personally experienced. Like when I like when people of our age, like when they were kids, the grandmothers used to tell us the story of Ramayana, Mahabharata, and that time they used to tell us, and we just keep simply listen to the story what they told, and then we start imagining, we start visualizing those by closing our eyes. But we never got to see how say for example how Shurpanaka would look like when her nose get cut by Lakshmana and all. But now what has happened is there are many applications with the help of which certain story is been narrated by there is an images, there are animations, there are audio visuals, which ensures that whatever information, like storytelling is one of the application. Now storytelling, animation way of storytelling is there, which is embedded along with the video signal, and all together audio signal, and all together certain video can be formed, and that has been shown, that has been available on various digital platforms, by which from where we can download it and show it to our children. Now what additional thing that our children used to get, like when we tell them the story, and we have immediately a digital platform available where we can just go click certain or type certain information in Google, in some YouTube, on some many more applications on Play Store and all, and then from there we can download those applications and we can show it to our children that when the Shurpanaka's nose get cut, how she would have looked like. This is just a small example. With this example, a clarity would have come ki how multimedia has enhanced the way we visualize the things, and that is what multimedia is offered to you. I know that I am explaining more and more about importance of multimedia, but with this, a user should have understood, or the student should have understood that this is not just a simple chapter, this is not just a simple concept. It is the way we have living our life within this particular era, how we are blessed with the multimedia communication system, with the help of which the entire information industries is been turned around completely. Now let us move to the next point. This is how we define it, like this is how we classify it, what exactly multimedia communication does. So this is how we classify it. What does it do is, there are lot many information exchanges. There obviously there will be certain storage, because whenever we used to deal with the data, we need to bring those on a common platform. So we need to go ahead with certain storing that information. Then we need to go for transformation of that information. All information need to be transformed, because we need all to be bring on a common digital platform. Then there will be presentation, representation, perception. So all in all will be required in multimedia communication. Now the next bit is component of multimedia. Now here the component of multimedia comes various applications that multimedia this communication can be used. And there are so many modularities, like there are various ways by which it is being used, like for text, audio, images, drawings, animation, and videos in the multimedia are put to use in ways as diverse as, like all these can be used for their multiple, there are multiple amount of applications, but few of the important ones will be covered here. Those are like video teleconferencing. Now this is very important application by which the world has become much more closer, and the expenses on traveling has been saved. Like there are various industries nowadays, those are the multinational industries, those who are having their offices in multiple countries, in various cities. And whenever they need to have discussion over certain issues, and then they have their annual meetings, and all the times, like in earlier days, all the managing bodies, they need to carry a certain bunch of documents, and then they need to travel, they need to meet over a place, then discuss for certain huge amount of time. So they need to pay they need to pay certain amount over the expenses in hotels and all, because altogether they need to travel, they need to leave their own country and meet somewhere in the middle, and that cost so much of money. But with the help of multimedia, with the help of video teleconferencing, all that has been saved. And with teleconferencing, they not only share their videos, but they share a lot of data in variety of form. They share videos, they share PPTs, they share their presentations, images, all the information that they can share and have discussion over it, so that they can save lot of time and then obviously a lot of money. So multimedia has a very important component in the form of video teleconferencing. Then one of the example that we are doing right now, distributed lectures for higher education. Now this is the way we are communicating right now. Not only that, there are NPTEL videos, like there are various very renowned institutes like IITs and IITs. The professors there, they used to record their lectures and then they can share on a common platform, and then all these aspirants, those who are interested to watch or clear that particular concept from an IITs and NIITians, so that can be get cleared with the help of this particular tool called as distributed lectures for higher education. The way we are conducting this kind of video lecturing now on the same platform is possible just because of the multimedia communication only. Then there are various other applications like telemedicines. Like here you can see not only the Indian doctors practice this particular thing. There are all variety of the groups of the doctors are there all across the globe, and while covering certain major surgeries, the doctors tends to follow this conference, via which on the operation theater the live streaming will be done, and there will be certain experts in that particular field, doctors, those who visualize that entire surgery and help the doctor who is actually doing it. So this is where the telemedicine come into the picture, the component of multimedia. Then the cooperative work environments that allow business people to edit, share documents, school children to share the single game using the two mice that pass control back and forth. Now this is the there are two half in this particular application or in this particular component. In first half, where corporate share their work environment, like if this is mostly preferred in case of the software IT industry, where certain big project having certain amount of modules, and if several teams work on that particular project with variety of modules, then each team tends to work on individual modules, and in the team itself there will be several engineers which will be working on a single module. So multimedia environment help them to share the single common resource, so that whatever work that they do individually will be saved on a common platform, so that it can be act as an reference for the other teams, and then they can access the information which is done by that single engineer. And this is how it has been used for cooperative work environment, which allows them to work diversely from their individual aspect, and still they can go ahead with as a team which is working on a same project. Similarly, there are certain applications, gaming applications, where, like, let me give a simple example of, like, there are certain video games which are multiplayer video games. Now, it is not necessary that you should be there present and to play that particular game, but virtually also multiplayer options can be selected and the game can be run or game can be played, where all the access can be shared, and then the multiplayer gaming application can be completed. So it is one of the, again, the major component of the multimedia communication system here, we can say. Then there are other certain components, like searching very large and image database from target visual objects. Like this is one of the very important object tool which can be used for the on Google, where people tends to find certain information with the help of image. Like for if you want to search something on Google, what exactly you do is you type that particular word or phrase, and then you get n number of information and sites related to the same word. But what if you need to search certain image? Then there is an option in Google where you can search with the help of an image, and from the huge database of Google, you can get the desired output back. And that is one of the component for of multimedia. Then augmented reality, like the engineering graphics, which we can form or video objects seen, so as to take an physical physics of object and light into the account. Like to be very honest, there are certain animation games which has been so correctly picturized. Let me give a simple example of a movie called Avatar here, which is an Hollywood movie, where this VFX has been so neatly used. All the hand movements of the characters which are been used in the Avatar movies are the best example which has been suited here, called in augmented reality. There is like if you look for certain Indian movies, then there is a movie called as Jeans, in which the augmented reality has been shown in the movies, where like certain double role been played by that actress, and where the with the help of this augmented reality, the character has been formed, like imaginary virtual character has been formed in that particular movie. So this is something where we take help of the animation, and we design that particular character in a such a way that even we work on the shadow effect as well. Like whenever the certain graphic has been formed, we generally focus on that graphic image only. But whenever certain light came from like from left side or a right side, accordingly the shadow need to be shown. And that kind of work if you done, then it is almost appeal as in reality. So that is also another component for multimedia. Then there are certain ways like audio cues, for where video conference participants are seated, as well as taking into the account of gaze direction and attention of the participant. Like if you would have used a certain application where for teleconferencing, where there are multiple number of users taking part into the communication, and mostly you would have observed the person who is speaking, immediately the focus goes to that particular person. Like if you observe as a third person, if you are observing and teleconferencing, then the person who is speaking right now, he will appear up front in front of you as an if you are an observer. As per person who is keeping mum, who is not talking at all, he will not appear, he will not be there on your screen. And that is where the audio cue has been used in video conferencing, so that that particular person who is speaking, he can be shown in front of you. This is one of the examples of the multimedia applications. Then there are several others, where building searchable features into the new ideas, enabling very high to very low bitrate using new scalable multimedia product. Like this is like let me give simple example of one applications which is developed by a company selling the paint. So what that application does is, if you capture certain images of your home in pan mode, and if you just upload those, and then you can keep on selecting certain colors of the paint, and then just simply keep on hitting. If you try number of colors, you would have see in on the screen of mobile or on a computer that how your home would look like with the color that has been selected. So that kind of application where you can virtually see, if you're not using the color to paint your walls, but virtually if you do it, how it would have looked like. So that is one of the example of the components of multimedia, where color is not the only issue, but there are certain other things, like in certain way where you keep, where you design the structure of a building, and then if you apply certain amount of pressure to test the what if the earthquake happen and all. So all those tests can be checked in case with the help of this multimedia, and this is how one of the important component of multimedia. Now let us try to understand the difference between the multimedia and hypermedia. Now, as we have seen, what do we understand by multimedia, where we make use of all the possible medias, like image, text, graphics, video, animation, and all, to form one to bring on them on one particular platform, and then convert that into use all of them together, and then transform that into certain images, audio or video, and then we through the output of that we will put it on the digital platform, or we convert it into same again, say digital to analog, and then we telecast that also. If we take example of an cricket match, or say the news channel videos, so we make use of all the different types of medias all together, and then we transform into any one audio or video or image or text, and then we release the output. That is what we do in multimedia. While what exactly this hypermedia is? Now, basically, hypermedia is the extended form of hypertext, where what exactly we will be doing in hypermedia is we will ensure that uh, software representation of all these options, like multimedia ensures that it will be linking all these things on a text based format. Let us take a simple example of, say, Wikipedia. If you are accessing certain search pages on Wikipedia, and then you get some future references, like, say, for example, if you are searching for multimedia communication technique, in that, if you find a point called as video, images, audio mixed together or formed together to form a multimedia communication, and then if you observe, there is an hyperlink for video, and if you click that video, then it will take you to certain web page where the information related video will be available. If it gives you certain if it required to give you certain video information related to that, then if you click that link, then there will be certain video that will get released. So in short, hypermedia is just a software representation of all these points. Like, there will be text, there will be video, images, there will be text, video available, there will be some graphics available, but that is not interlinked together, that is not used together. It will be linked together, that there will be certain link by which, if you click that link, it will take you to that particular information, but it will never be the mixture of all, which is the case in case of multimedia communication. So multimedia, to be very very frank, multimedia is a broader term which can be used for many options, while hypermedia is a specific term Hypermedia simply tell you that there will be all the information in various form available, but that is not mixed. It will be linked together. There will be a page on which if you click certain options, it will take you to that information, but it is not the mixture of the information which is there in case of multimedia. Then multimedia include options such as still graphics, picture, video, sound, and all other information, while hypermedia is just a software representation of all these points. Multimedia is in two different formats, which are known as linear and non-linear multimedia, while hypermedia is only in the linear format. So all the information which is then there used which is there linked with the hypermedia will be in linear format. Very true, because the information never get changed, it will never get mixed, it will be there available in that own format. Only thing is that it will be linked together, it will be linked with certain application. So if you just click that particular information, it will take you to that information. If you click certain phrase, and that phrase will contain some video, if you click certain phrase, it will contain some image, then the image and the video will be played as it is in original form. So all the information will be in the linear form, while in case of multimedia it has both linear as well as non-linear form. Multimedia is a physical set of options, while hypermedia is electronic versions of those options. Like whatever the mixing that we will be doing in case of multimedia, all the information that will be clubbed together. So all those informations, we have variety of physical sets of options, while it is just the electronic form of those options as in multimedia, hypermedia. Then hypermedia converts all the options into hypertext and then display them when the program is played, while multimedia is the connection of existing options on the computer. Now hypermedia, what exactly it does, it convert the entire set of information into an hypertext. Let us take an example that uh, if I if I want to embed a certain video into this PowerPoint presentation, then what I will be doing is, I will not be putting the video here directly into this presentation. I will be using certain text on, and that text will be hyperlinked with that video. And while explaining about that video link or that video, I will be using here certain amount of text, and when I want to show you that video, I'll just simply click that particular text so that the video will be played in front of you. And that is how multimedia does it, convert all these options into the hypertext. Now hypermedia links the different options, while multimedia display the different options. That is what I was talking about. So hypermedia is just linking the different options, while multimedia is actually showing you the different options. Multimedia requires different types of devices to show the result, while hypermedia requires a computer screen to display the result. Now that is very true here. Now what you do with the help of multimedia system, the output will be output you can have in variety of different forms. Let us take an example. If you are if you're using say example of a news channel, so here you will be using image, text, and all other different forms of communication mediums, and all those you will be combining together, mixing together to form a video. Then you need a video television screen to show you that particular application that you have designed. Then if you rather than and news channel, if you take an example where you have simply done one thing, that you have certain video audio signal available with you, some certain person has sung certain song, and then you have certain person who has played certain flute, so you have one more audio device, audio signal available with you, and then what you do simply is you combine both these signal together, and then you release one audio signal, so that which will be combination of both these audio signals. Now whenever you want to uh, represent this particular audio information, then you need certain mp3 player to play this particular music, so you need certain different device for that to play. So in short, multimedia require different types of devices to show the result, because depending upon whether the output is audio, whether the output is video, so depending upon the output what you have generating, so in order to show the result it require different kind of devices in multimedia, while hypermedia requires simply a computer screen where there will be certain amount of text available, and you just need to click that text, and that text will be linked with all these different kind of medias. Then hypermedia is more complex system and used by particular people who have qualification, while multimedia is a simple one which can be used by anyone who has basic understanding of computers. Very very true, because it is very much essential that you need to know where the hyperlinking is been done. Now there has to be certain symbols, there is a method by which you how you should click it, and then the other file will get open. So in order to do all this you need to have certain knowledge in the computer domain, while multimedia everything has been done by the multimedia system only, and after that particular work the output will be released either in the form of video or in the form of audio or in some other form also, and you just need to use whatever you have done and for displaying the results. So once you have that device with you, it is just simple plug and play in case of multimedia, while hypermedia you need to use the different forms. You need to understand the different forms, you need to understand how it will work. Now there are few more differences, like multimedia is a uh, okay, now this is how simply converted into a tabular form, where we have given the definition, like in case of multimedia it is the collection of different types of media which can be helpful in displaying the information to the user. So it is as I said, it is collection of different types, and then on other hand hypermedia is all the media which is present until until here it is similar to the multimedia, but the difference starts when display time comes, because while displaying it will show you the entire collection of all the information, while in hypermedia it will show you only the hypertext and the linking will be done. Now it has now as far as options are concerned, the option include such as still graphics, pictures, video, sound and other animation information, while hypermedia it is a software, so it represent all of this in the option. Now types here, multimedia both linear and non-linear multimedia, while hypermedia is strictly a linear media. And then lastly it is connection of existing options on the computer, and it converts all the options into hypertext and then display them when the program is played. So this is how we differentiate between the hypermedia and multimedia. So I think this is enough for today. So we have covered 2 points here. One is what is multimedia, what are its components, what are its application, how it is important for the user, and then we have understood the difference between the hypermedia and the multimedia. Now in the next video release we will go ahead with what is www, which is this only the biggest application of hypermedia, because whatever the examples which I have given you, like Wikipedia or some other example, most of them linked with the www, that is World Wide Web only. Then how it has been how it has been constructed, like what are the different protocols used in World Wide Web, then what are the different markup languages used, like we will just cover a bit the introductory stuff of HTML, then we will cover some important stuff related to the XML, and then we will go ahead with overview of multimedia software tools. So all that information we will cover in the next video session. But till then, thank you very much for the patient listening. Have a nice day ahead and take care. Thank you.